All right, here we've got analysis for merit pay, and we've got at the top here our merit pay system with the performance levels there on the left. And you can see that there are different merit increases depending on whether a person is a below or above the median pay. And we've got the median pay indicated there, along with those percentage increases for each of those conditions. And so this is a kind of specific form of merit pay that we're going to be testing. And we've got data down below, employee salary data that's been pulled from the HRIS. And of course, this is all fictional. Again, all of this information parallels what's in your assignment, but I've changed around the numbers and the conditions and whatnot. But again, we're going to be doing all the same things here to illustrate these commands that you're going to have to do. And so we'll go through those as we go through here. We'll do some analytics around the correlation between pay and performance, and we'll also compute some analytics for the Compa ratio and the performance ratio, and we'll look at some kind of financials at the end there to see whether they're meeting some of those strategic goals in terms of how large the merit increases are. So as we go back up here, why don't we start by doing the correlation between pay and performance. And you can see the command there that we're going to just type into that cell. And we put in the first array, and that is the pay. And in the second array, we've got the performance. And, it's good to know the cells and the starting points. You can see we get a correlation of 0.45. Not a small correlation, kind of a moderate size correlation. Our sample size is a little bit on the smaller side here, so we might question whether it's significant. We didn't calculate that, but nonetheless, we'll move forward here and start looking at now how do we do this merit increase. And so when we get into that, again, we're going to take the pay that we have and the performance, and that's going to determine the percentage increase, whether that pay is above or below the median pay, and then what percentage increase that is dictated by. And what we're going to use is that VLOOKUP table that we used in the previous assignment. And so here, the same types of values will be used, except for when we're specifying the column index. Here, we're going to be a little bit more complicated and use an if statement, a logical test, to see whether they are above or below the median. So you can see here first I specify the performance in E18, and then I specify the table for the merit plan, and then I put in this if statement about whether the pay is less than the median. And again, that median was specified in a cell up above, and I just put that cell in there. And then with the 2 and the 3 are what you put for whether it's true or false. And what you'll see is based on that statement, it uh, pulls the number out of that table and puts the appropriate merit percentage in based on whether that pay is above or below the median, and what level performance is. And so, and you can use this video to help you in the assignment. Sometimes, I think it's just useful to kind of write down some of these commands. Don't forget that you also have step-by-step instructions, and those should definitely be a resource that you're using, because there's information in there that I can't go through in a video like this. So, but hopefully, seeing this helps you to kind of see what's happening in these commands. And it is a little bit of work to, create these v lookup tables, but the real value here is that it allows us to then test different uh, types of plans and compare what might improve the correlation between performance and pay. And ultimately, that's kind of the goal of merit pay in many ways. And so in this assignment, you'll be looking at, how to use these kinds of analyses to kind of achieve those ends. And so I've kind of skipped ahead here. Again, you can always pause and rewind and do different things to help on this. You may have to watch the video multiple times, or again, use it alongside the written. Maybe one helps you more than the other. But so as we get done with this, you'll see that now we have the percentage increase. I always think it's good to kind of double check yourself, as look at the data and then compare it to the table and see if, what was that salary? Is it above or below the median? Okay, what is the performance? Did we get the right percentage increase in that condition? And so when you do that, it kind of helps you, I think, to get these right. And it is a bit of work to get these typed in, but the promise of being able to now use that data and to have different conditions is part of what the real benefit, I think, of that V lookup table is you can really model different scenarios. And I think as managers often we're asked, hey, what if you did it this way or this way? And this is how you use Excel to run some of those numbers. And so as we continue down, you can see in there we're calculating the Compa ratio here. And again, the textbook goes into the Compa ratio, so please be looking at that. Also, the written instructions give a little bit more detail than what I'm doing in the video here, but you can, again, use this to help you to kind of see what these commands look like. And hopefully that's the purpose that it serves. And so we're getting the different parts of that equation for the Compa ratio. That includes the total pay, which is basically the sum of the current pay, and the midpoint. Again, we've been using that midpoint for a while. That's the median. And then the N is just the number of employees that we're examining. And then we can, again, take that values up above the total pay and the midpoint and the N, and those are the basic components, as you'll see, for that Compa ratio. And that's how that equation is put into Excel. Again, refer to your text and refer to the instructions for more on interpreting the Compa ratio. Similarly, when we look at the performance ratio, in particular, looking at the instructions will help you there. Again, it parallels much of the structure you'll see of the Compa ratio, and it is structured to have a midpoint of around 100, and there's implications if it's higher and lower in terms of whether we're being too strict or too lenient here in terms of performance ratings. But you'll see that here we are calculating the median, and then also we'll use the same N, the same number, the same data set that we're using. And as you type in, again, that performance ratio, you see it's very similar in structure to the Compa ratio. So I think these are, again, good analytics that we can calculate. And then as we want to try perhaps different mixes of increases for whether you're above or below the median. Perhaps we want to, really reward high performance a bit more, or maybe we want to try a different mix. And we can figure out a lot of things of, what results would that have in terms of things that are important to the organization by having this V lookup table, and then being able to look at how these different metrics like the Compa ratio change as a result. Here we're going back up and we are calculating the new pay, as we're going to need that, to see, how well did we improve any with this new system? Are we improving our correlation between pay and performance? And we also will want to look at, what is the financial impact of these changes that we have here. And so we're just taking the pay and uh, and then putting the increase in there in accordance to that merit increase column, you can see. And after I've done that, you can see I can just at that point cut and paste, and I'll move ahead to that. Now we have all of that information, or the new pay, calculated. And again, we can come back down and do the correlation and see, okay, look at new pay and correlation. I'm sorry, new pay and performance. And is there a stronger correlation than old pay and performance? So we'll type in that correlation and see what we get. And as you can see there, we've got a fair improvement, not a dramatic improvement, but again, somewhat of a substantial improvement there, and certainly in the direction that we wanted. We want a stronger positive correlation between pay and performance. That's the purpose of merit pay. And so this scheme that we have in terms of the different merit increases seems to be producing that. So now we want to get down to some financials and look at what the merit increase is as a percentage of all the payroll. And so we can get the current payroll by summing up that. And then now that we have the new pay, we can sum up that column and see what the new cost of payroll will be with the new merit increases included in that. And here I'm just setting up that statement. And we can then look at the difference between those two to get the value in terms of dollars, what the cost of that merit increase is, by simply doing that. And finally, we can see what the percentage that is, that the percentage of that merit increase is of our current pay. And we get that in that last column there. And so again, this takes you through much of what you have to do in the assignment. Now, as you'll see, as you go forward in terms of questions, you'll still need to do some things like play around with the data and change some things up, and recalculate some of these. If you do have questions, please come to my office hours, or let's make an appointment and talk. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.